Good morning, everybody. I toast to you and all you do. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Enjoying some cooler weather here. We had a little rain last night, so it has definitely cooled things off. It has been super hot, and I think that people are feeling this all around the world. It is just that time of year. It is hot outside. And so I hope that you are getting a little bit of a break from that this morning, and that this full moon we're having today is gonna shine some light onto the situations that you're having. We are in a very turmoil. I want to say this word, but I just can't pronounce it to this morning. We are in really what feels like a troubling time. I think all around the world, people are feeling this. We are having crazy things happening, and I think that we are seeing this like on an individual level. We are seeing this in our societies, in our communities, in our families, just everywhere that we turn. We are seeing truths and realities that many of us have tried to kind of like block for a long time. And I think there are a lot of people out there right now really feeling devastated for so many reasons. And this leads me to the source of it, love, that we can all tap into. Sometimes when we are in these dark places and we are in dark times and we are in places where we feel like the world is crumbling around us and we have nothing, and everywhere we turn we're just like, oh my god, I cannot be here anymore, I can't do this. In those moments, in those trying times, sit with yourself, take a deep breath, and remember that in even the darkest moment, there is an eternal source of love that we can all tap into. This is a primal energy. This is a beauty that we can find everywhere around us. And it is that energy that we tap into in those dark moments. It is that energy that we connect with when we talk about Haumea and the major transformations that are happening right now. And if you take that moment to just take a deep breath and really focus on love, not superficial love, not lustful love, but real, true, unconditional love, and we really allow that to flow forward, we can really find strength, we can find bounty, we can find beauty, we can find all of the things that we need, because they are there. The light at the end of the tunnel is there. We just have to step through the destruction that we are in right now. We just have to make those changes. And we have to make those changes for real. They can't be superficial changes where we say, oh yeah, I'm over that trauma, I have totally moved on and I have healed, and yet those feelings still come up to the surface. And as we heal and we truly tap into that source of love and we step forward, we will find that on the other side of this, on the other side of whatever is your devastating moment, we are going to come through the other side. We are going to come through stronger. We're going to come through healthy and happy and successful and ready to create a new world. You know, it's been over 200 years since Pluto has made the transition that it's making. It has been several hundred years since Sedna has made the transition that it's making. We have a lot of large planetary bodies and important aspects in our universal energies that are making huge transitions. And if we think back and we look into the history books to the last time that these things happened, we're looking at moments like the Revolutionary War and the French Revolution and just great big changes, and the great floods, big things happening. And so this is that time when we're seeing some of that happen physically. You know, we are seeing floods, we're seeing volcanoes erupt, we're finding new bodies of water, we're finding entire continents underneath the ocean. We just have crazy information coming out about our history and about where we come from. And I encourage everybody to go look and see and start seeing the research that's coming out about what happened 11,000 years ago. Start looking at the research of things that happened 200, 300 years ago and really seeing these patterns that are emerging. Now, hopefully we don't have some catastrophic event that floods the world, but I think spiritually we are having that event. There is major transitions happening all over the place. And these aren't quick transitions. These aren't things that are happening today, bam, done. The finger of fate that we talked about before, and that we're going to talk about again, this is going to last several years, like 2 years, maybe. It's definitely over a year. I think it's almost 2 years that this will last. You know, we've been talking a lot for a while now about Neptune and Pluto being sextile and this pioneering energy that comes out with that, and this, you know, push to go beyond and to see further and to see deeper and to see into that reality. That's going to continue to go. This is a big change. So if you're not feeling the devastation now, if you're not in a place where you're like, oh my goodness, I am seeing truths and realities and big changes and things that are happening that I didn't think were ever going to happen, you're not seeing that in this moment, there's time. Don't worry. It will come around to you. I think everyone is going to feel this in different ways. If your birth natal chart closely represents the things that are happening right now, then you're probably feeling that more so. I think people who are in the sign of Cancer or in the sign of Aries are probably feeling this much stronger. Also, people who are in the sign of Scorpio, because Pluto rules over Scorpio and Pluto is doing crazy transitions through signs, and it just went retrograde. So we're having all of these deep, passionate energies come to the surface. So these zodiac signs might be feeling it stronger than others, but that doesn't say that other zodiac signs aren't also feeling that. I'm just saying that it might not be in this moment that you feel this big change, but these changes are happening. This is a universal thing that's happening, and the universe is not going to let you sit this one out. This is something that is happening to everyone. It will happen to everyone. This is happening to our society. We're going to see big societal changes, governmental changes around the world, and we've already started to see that. Here in the United States, we just had an assassination attempt. We have a crazy election going on. We are really seeing some deep, dark truths rising up to the surface about the way that our government works, and some realities about the people that we voted into office and who are running and all of the above. And it's just a lot of truths coming out. You're seeing this in France. You're seeing this in Russia. You're seeing this in Ukraine. You're seeing this in the Middle East. You're seeing this in Africa. I mean, if you're only paying attention to one country, you're not getting the big picture. But if you look all around the world and you look at all of the ways that our governments are working and all of the ways that the people are tired of their governments, this isn't a unique thing to one country. This isn't a unique thing to one person. This is something that this is happening to us globally. This is happening to everybody. Everyone is making these transitions, and this is going to trickle out, and eventually throughout the next year or so, chances are you're going to have some major thing happen. This is like the Great Flood, and the universe, the divine, the prophets, the whoever you want to call to, are calling out and saying, oh, excuse me, are calling out and saying, this is going to happen. Build your boat, prepare your family, make the changes that you need to make so that you can come out on the other side and really see that olive branch, really see the new earth that is being created. And like I said, hopefully it doesn't happen literally, but it is happening spiritually. It is happening in our society. So, with all of that said, let's get into the chart and let's talk about this full moon. It's happening today. And all of that amazing stuff. So it is July 21st, and it's funny because I started another video and didn't even realize that I had said September. It's definitely not September. So we have our full moon on July 21st. I don't know why that says Aquarius. It's not in Aquarius. It's in Capricorn. It's very close. It is at 29 degrees. And so, let's see. So here we have the moon up here in Capricorn. We have the sun in Cancer. They're both at 29 degrees, which is a very powerful degree because it is that last degree, and it's like that last bit of oomph right before it changes. It brings in all of that strong energy from the sign that it's in. So since we have that in Cancer and Sagittarius, it is really calling to your balance of safety and security, and it's calling to your foundation, and it's asking you, is your foundation balanced? Have you found that balance between feeling safe at home and being successful in the world? Have you found that place of homeostasis? And if you haven't, now's the time to really question all of the reasons why you haven't and really see them for the truths that they are. So there's the chart. I mean, you can see I love this. I love the overall picture of the natal chart. Let me rotate it like this. We very much have a pentagram in the middle of this chart. We have this cup of plenty. We have the finger of fate. We have the sun and moon square, T-square to both of those things, with Eris and Chiron down here. So just like the last full moon, which also was on the same cusp, but instead of being at 29 degrees, it was at 1 degrees. We have almost the exact same chart, except the sun and the moon have moved. I mean, Mercury, Venus, the sun and the moon, and Mars have all moved. Everything else is almost in the exact same place. Like I said, these are going to be long-running things. This isn't something that's just like, bam, snap, okay, and then we're done. This is a long-running cup of plenty, and it's going to have different things show up over here in the side. Right now we have the sun. At the last full moon, we had Vesta. And so this is just going to keep transitioning. We're going to see this. And we're also going to see this finger of fate for a while. So let's talk about some retrogrades, because we have Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, and Ceres all retrograde. Eris goes stationary direct, or stationary retrograde. So it is also in that place of, well, stillness. And it's funny to talk about Eris in a still state, because Eris is the chaos. It is that revealing of whatever nonsense you're trying to push and saying, hey, that's nonsense, and you really need to see the truth in this situation. You need to be just, you need to be noble, you need to make the right choice, and you need to do it for the right reasons. Eris is still conjunct to Chiron, which has been happening. Again, these planets run kind of together, and so right now they're still connected. It is slowly coming apart, but they are really calling for healing, for change, for growth, for really seeing the truth for what it is, making the changes that you need to make, and stepping forward from a better place, stepping forward healed. This is, so Eris is the goddess of chaos, and Chiron is the noble social leader. He is like the Martin Luther King of the gods. And so we have this beautiful push, these two people really pushing forward, and they're calling for truth and change and justice, but not out of a place of malice or superficial needs, but out of true healing. Let's step forward healed. Let's step forward together. And it's funny, as I just said that, I'm thinking about all of the, with Black Lives Matter going on, and we have immigration issues, and we have all of these things happening. And I feel like that has a lot to do with this conjunction happening. And it's really calling that out. Are we at a better place? Have we made the changes that we need to make? Are we still relying on being victims and falling back into the same old pattern? Or are we really stepping forward, healed, better, where everybody can step forward equal? I've said this before. Everyone brings their own beautiful thing to the table, regardless of what you believe in or what you practice or what color your skin is or what religion you are or any of those things. We all bring something beautiful to the table. And if we all stepped forward respecting and honoring that differences and the unique abilities we all have, we would have a bountiful table. We would have a beautiful community. We would create an amazing world because we were all stepping forward, presenting our best selves. And this Chiron Eris energy really calls to that. And as Eris goes stationary retrograde, I feel like this energy is not just throwing an apple on the table. She just sat down in the middle of the table and is looking you in the eyes, asking you, are you making the right choices? Are you doing this for the right reasons? Are you being the better person and standing up and doing what is right and really stepping into your own authority and your own power, and not out of a place of malice or greed or led by these superficial things, but with that source of eternal love from deep within, and stepping forward to share that unconditional love with the world and do the right thing and be kind and noble and just and all of those amazing attributes that Eris has. And she's really calling that out. She is looking you dead in your face and she's asking you, are you doing that? And Chiron is like gently encouraging you to just do the right thing, make those right choices, take those next steps. You can do this, and it is time. Now, these two planets... Okay, wait. Let's talk about the rest of the retrograde planets. So, Pluto is retrograde, which is really making you question your authority. Where are you putting your passion? Where are you putting your power? Who's telling you what to do? Are you being told what to do by somebody else, by some social norm, by some superficial thing that is encouraging you? Or are you being driven by your own deep, dark passions? Are you being driven by truth? And so when Pluto goes retrograde, and especially in this place right now where it is on that axis on the transition between Aquarius and Sagittarius, it's conjunct with the moon. So this is really calling to our emotional state right now. And, are you being honest with yourself about your feelings? And are you holding responsibility for your own feelings, or are you still putting that off onto somebody else? I think one of the hardest lessons to learn as we get older is that we are the only people responsible for our feelings. And no matter how much we want to say they made me feel that way, that's not taking responsibility for your own feelings. And yes, there will always be people influencing you. There will always be outside external things coming in at you, telling you one way or the other. But the only thing you can control, the only thing that you can do is decide how you want to feel and how you want to react to that situation. And it is really hard to be in a heated argument and to be hurt and to be mad and to be yelling and screaming and to stop and say, do I really want to feel this way? Because no one says that and then is like, yes, I want to feel angry and mad and I want to scream and I want to yell at this person that I love. No one wants that. And if you step back and say, I don't want to feel this way, why am I feeling this way? Well, I am allowing these things to influence me. Now, that's not said with a like, okay, you have this person who's being mean to you, but you love them, so you're just going to ignore them being mean to you. No. You need to stand up and you need to say what you're saying is affecting me. It is coming into myself and it is making me feel shitty. And I don't like that and I don't want that. And if you love and you respect me, then you will control your own mouth and you won't say those things to me. And then I won't say mean things to you, and we will act out of a place of love. And then step forward and make those changes. That's what this energy is calling right now. Pluto is square with Chiron, and it is calling to, or with Eris, and it is calling to that. It is saying, are you taking responsibility for your own feelings, and are you healing? Are you stepping forward? Are you making better choices? Are you doing the right thing? We also have Saturn, which is retrograde, and we talked about this before, but this is really, it's in Pisces, so it's emphasizing our spiritual community, and it's asking you, look at my spiritual community. Is this the right thing for me? Is my spiritual community doing the right thing? Am I stepping forward from a healthy spiritual place? And am I growing my own spiritual self and my community and everything? And am I making those choices? We have Neptune retrograde, which is calling out the bullshit. It is really removing those blinders. It is calling you through the fog. Now, sometimes Neptune works mysterious ways, and sometimes it will emphasize a blinder. So if you choose not to accept some feeling, or you have some emotions that you've boxed up and put away, and you're like, I'm not even going to look at those, suddenly that box will turn into a crate and a giant thing, and it's something that you can't avoid. And everything around you will be pointing at, oh, you put those feelings in a box. You put those feelings, yep, you tucked that away, and you're not, remember, we're not talking about that. You might get that. It might come to you in a way which overemphasizes the illusion, the delusion, the unwillingness to see the truth in a situation. Or counter that, it might remove the fog completely, and you now see a situation and a truth and in a reality in a real way that you never thought you would see it. And that can be that can be really hard. It's a situation where you want to put your, oh my God, no, I don't want to see this. And there's no nice way to say this about Neptune's retrograde. It really is just calling out any of those illusions. It's giving you a higher perspective. It's telling you, it's questioning you. It's saying, are you seeing this from a real view, or have you been blind to this situation? And with the being sextile to Pluto and Uranus right now, creating a minor trine there, it is an eruptive truth. It is a deep truth. These are not like, oh, I didn't realize there were bugs in my garden. No, this is like, the whole world is crashing down, and this person that I loved and honored and respected is now whatever. Or I am seeing my feelings towards this situation in a whole new light. I'm realizing I didn't get over that situation. I really should heal and deal with this. There's a lot of those kind of things coming up. And these retrogrades are not quick. These are long retrogrades. So they're going to be in retrograde for a month or so. It's going to all bubble up to the surface. It's all going to come out, and we're going to see it. We're going to hear it. We're going to feel it. Like I said, the universe is not subtly making a transition. The universe is calling for major change from top to bottom, everywhere in between, big changes. So the last one that's retrograde is Ceres, and Ceres, when in retrograde, so Ceres's energy is about reaping what you sow. So when it goes into retrograde, it's asking you, are you motivated by the right things? Are you planting the right seeds? Are you doing this now? Because later, this could come back around to get you. And it really is trying to ask you to look at a situation and see that long term. And are you making those long-term changes? Sometimes we go through a situation and we're like, oh yeah, I healed from that. I dealt with that. I'm no longer bothered by that. And you might feel right now some of those feelings coming back up to the surface. I lost my mom to addiction and overdose, and there's a lot of feelings there. The other day, my husband played a song that I'd never heard before, and it was one of those like mega songs where they bring all these really famous people together and they all sing a part or say a part or whatever, but the whole thing was about healing from addiction and from moving forward and how hard it is to be an addict and then to step through on the other side and live life without relapsing. And crying, tears, bawling, super upset. Obviously, I still have some emotions to deal with, and these little things are going to come up and they're going to get in your face and they're going to be like, hey, I'm here. And even if it's something small like that was just such a simple thing, but in that moment I was like, oh my goodness, clearly I still have these unresolved feelings about this situation. I'm still dealing with this grief, and that's okay, and I need to do that. I need to process those feelings. So you're going to have situations that come up like that really force you into seeing the reality for what it is. And all of these retrograde planets are really pushing for that. They're all interacting with each other also, so they are furthermore doing that. So we have talked before about the finger of fate. Let's see. So we have our finger of fate with Uranus. Uranus right now is conjunct with Sedna and Mars. Sedna and Uranus will be conjunct for a while. They will be in this minor trine with Neptune and Pluto for a while. This is really pushing us forward into making eruptive changes, seeing all of the deep, dark truths, getting that higher perspective, stepping forward, and making change. And we already talked before about Sedna and her myth of having her dad cut her fingers off and sending her out into the ocean. And that devastating truth coming to light and her transitioning and making this beautiful change, creating all of the life that we have in the ocean. So it is a big change. It is a devastating reality. I think that the myth of Sedna is even heightened by this Pluto-Neptune trine action. We are really being pushed forward through this truth. Mars adds a fiery energy that's like motivating. It's going to start a fire on it. It's like a volcano erupting, okay? That's the devastation that we're feeling right now. And that devastation is going to create the fertilizer and the foundation and the reality of the future. And no matter how devastating it might feel right now, you really need to see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Sedna is that beautiful star. We always see the light at the end of the tunnel. No matter how dark, no matter how deep, no matter how painful it is right now, on the other side, there is bounty. There is something beautiful. There is something greater. We just have to get through this. It just has to happen. And we have to allow these changes. So, and then we have Haumea at the top, which of that finger of fate, which is that major change. It is the volcano that erupted and then created these islands out of nothing. And so this is where we're at. And this is going to be running for a year. It's not a slow thing. So you might feel the volcano yesterday, or you might feel it in 6 months, or a year, or whenever it is your turn. But these things are happening. So we not only have to be patient with ourselves, but we need to be patient with the people around us, because chances are in their home, in their life, in their situation, they are also having a volcano erupt. And all of these things are happening, and that's okay. We can be supportive of each other. We can all hold hands through these devastating times and say, it's okay, we're going to make it through this, and we're going to come out the other side, and we are going to build something better. These are joined. So on the last full moon, it was Vesta who completed the cup, but now it is the sun. And it is, I was just making sure there was nothing conjunct to the sun. And bringing in that Cancer sun, again, is shining this light on this source of love, and knowing that we have this great source of love that we can stand on, that we can call on, that we can be present in. And it is like the light at the end of the tunnel, like, hey, we can do this. It is calling very much so, because Pluto is conjunct to the moon, and then we have the sun at opposition, and they are on that axis of Do I feel safe at home and in my own feelings and in my own emotional state? And do I feel successful? Do I feel like what I do out in the world is bringing me the things that I need to feel successful and secure? So security is a really big deal right now. And it's happening at a time when everything else is crumbling. We have great truths coming out. We are being looked in the face by Eris saying, I'm calling you out. Eris is in a T-square with, Eris is at opposition from Haumea. They are both square to the sun and the moon. And so that in itself, that cross is also like shattering to your emotional state and your emotional health. Like if you are in a place where you're not being honest with yourself about your feelings, this is when it's being called out. This is when it is playing that song that's going to make you cry every time. You're constantly hearing it. You have to learn to deal with these things. You have to heal from these situations. And you're not going to be able to just sit by and be like, okay, that's happening over there and I don't want to deal with it. It is in your face. You are reminded of it every day. And right now, today, with this full moon, it is like, whew, see this, know this. What you need to achieve security and feel strong and feel right is to be honest with yourself and to heal. And not heal superficially like, oh yeah, I'm fine. It's not a big deal. It is. And you need to deal with it and you need to process it. Whatever it is, you have to deal with it. And so this cup of plenty and this finger of fate, they're like, we love you, but you really need to deal with this. We have a lot of that going on. We also have Mercury square to Uranus, which is helping to bring in original thought. It's questioning, like, don't get stuck in the same thought pattern. Really think outside the box. You know, are you standing in your truth and are you creating a reality that is better? Or are you stuck in your old ways and you're just doing that same pattern, that same habit? It is time to step out of that. All right, let's see if I really... Okay, so I underline this like hardcore. The universe is calling for real change. I'm going to say this again, and I think that this will probably be the last big thing that we talk about, but we often like to pretend like, oh, we've healed, oh, we've changed, oh, I am this better person, oh, I do the right thing, you know, I'm kind, I'm courteous, whatever it is that you say that you do. The energy right now is saying, do you actually do that? Have you actually healed from those things? Are you actually stepping into your own authority and growing in your spirituality and creating a better world for you and your future and the universe, everything, all the way down the line? Are we doing the right thing? You know, are you all talk or are there actions behind your words? They're also putting out the truths that we don't want to see. And in those hard times, are you making a different choice so that you can have that transformation? And that's really what this moon is being called to. I mean, it's almost identical to the last full moon that we had. So it's like a push. It's like it's not a gentle reminder. It is a hardcore push to remind you, to tell you, change is happening. You can build your boat, you can climb up your hill, you can do what you need to do, but if you stick your head in the sand, it's going to be washed away and that devastation is going to be even worse. You have to rise up. You have to stand up. You have to stand in your own truth. You have to stand in your own authority. You have to know who you are and that is an amazing thing. I mean, yes, I'm sure there are people out there who are bad people and they will deal with that. But if each person stood up and was like, I'm going to be the best person that I can be, I'm going to act with love and compassion and kindness and understanding, because these are universal values. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, if all cultures value these things, kindness, love, understanding, these are universal values. It doesn't matter what your religion is. It doesn't matter what, Jesus said, love the Gentiles and the Jews. We could quote all of the great books. And in every single one of them, there is a statement about acting with love, acting with compassion and kindness, and stepping out and doing that. And just, if we all acted from that place, and we all focused on those letters, those words, those sayings, those quotes, we would have a better world. We would see less war. We would accept less war. Sometimes it's not just, this is that energy that Eris also calls to. Often we look the other way. I saw the most disgusting thing in such a long time, and I was so disappointed in my community. It was Friday night. All the homeless people hanging out in the park. They got some good dope. They're all out there having a grand time, talking to themselves, doing their thing. That in itself is sad and horrible and miserable. One of them was overdosing, and he is on the ground. They're rubbing his chest like things are happening. And there is this group of young ladies in their Friday night outfits. Then they're taking selfies and fashion photos. And literally just outside the frame of their camera is this man overdosing. And how can you just stand there and not say something and not do something and just continue to take your pictures with the tree? And, we're looking up, and so we see the tree in the sky, and we don't see that this person is literally dying right here on the sidewalk. And it's that energy, it's that... Just because they weren't involved in the situation, they looked the other way and pretended like it wasn't happening. And so we are being called out about that. So it's not just your actions, but it's your inactions also that are being called out by Eris. And we are being pushed to really do the right thing, to really step up and say, hey, are you okay? I asked some lady the other day, I said, are you okay? And she says, no. I said, do I need to call 911? And as a homeless person who was very high, she didn't like that. But she did stand up. She did start walking around. And if nothing else, hopefully that helped her get past whatever moment she was having. Because she was in a bad way. We have horrible, sad things going on. And we need to be doing the right thing. I would recommend everybody go down and have some Narcan so that when you go to downtown places, you just have it. This is a sad reality that we live in. We have to make these changes. We have to start really doing things. Oh, that's going to make me go off on a whole nother tangent. We're not going to do that right now. We are here to focus on this full moon, and it is calling you out to do the right thing. It is calling you out to stand up, be your own authority. Stop letting other people tell you how you should act and what you should do. You know what you need to do. You know who you are, and you know that if you step out into the world being true to yourself and healing, that you'll come out on the other side and you will have a bountiful, beautiful thing happen. It'll be a new world. A whole new world. Okay, it's going to be like that. It really is. We just have to get past this point and heal. We have to heal individually. We have to heal spiritually. We have to heal as a community. We have to heal and move forward. I just had this crazy thought to think about what the zodiac chart looks like when we switched from BC to AD. So now I'm going to have to go look that up. All right. I will talk to you guys all soon. I hope that you have a fantastic day. I know that this is hard times, and I just want you to know that there are people there to help you. If you need support, the community is there to help you. If you can't find it, reach out to me. I will help you find it in your area. I have a beautiful gift to be able to find it for people, and I will help you. You are not alone. Regardless of where you are not alone. There is somebody there to help you, and it is time to reach out to those new communities. It is time to reach out to that new self. It is time to step up and say, okay, the world around me is devastating, but that's okay. We're going to build a better foundation on this rubble that's going to be stronger and better, and it is going to help us build a better world. So, many blessings to all of you. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will talk to you soon.